Hi everybody, welcome to another video with me, Dr. Sarah. Today's topic is going to be a little bit, well, more philosophical but also scientific. It's a focus on what happens when there's too much of a good thing, right? When the focus of our health at the exclusion of other things that make our lives important becomes an obsession, specifically on two factors, diet and exercise, and particularly with the focus of controlling or manipulating weight. Now, I've spoken previously on the many healing aspects of movement and nutrition and how these two factors are powerful influencers on even modulating our DNA expression and affecting how our cellular functions can be optimized by choosing foods that have bioactive components that speak to our cells to enhance enzyme systems or different pathways along our biochemistry, and they actually help they don't change our hardware, but they help our software to run smoother. But there's other factors that affect this epigenetic aspect of changing our gene expression, and these are the power of our beliefs, our societal influences, and our relationships. In fact, they might be even more powerful because they are even more sustaining in what we're surrounded with. And unlike diet, they tend to stick with us for a very long time, right? The dietary theories come in and out of vogue very quickly. So in this particular article that I wrote this week, I discussed the problems of stigmatization and the belief that larger body sizes are more unhealthy, they're lazy, they need to kind of have more willpower. There's all these different stigmas associated with people that don't have the idealized version of what society deems, quote, normal, or even at the other end of the extreme, striving for perfection. And the results have actually shown that people with larger body sizes actually, because of stigmatization, not because of their larger body size, are basically prejudiced against optimized medical care, that when they're associated with different prejudices, that in and of itself actually causes factors in the blood and risk markers to rise independent of their weight. And that they've actually shown in one study that I highlighted, and I have the article excerpt on my website along with the references within the article that you can click on if you're interested, but that children who are even deemed to believe or be perceived by their parents as, quote, overweight, actually have very similar markers that rise in their bloodstream too, that are associated with, quote, the inflammatory response of obesity. If we look at, I don't really like that word obesity because I've just signed the Health at Every Size pledge, which means that I'm a practitioner that is weight neutral. I believe in body nourishment and health for its own right versus the aesthetic of, you know, trying to manipulate people's bodies to get a certain way in order to fit an idealized weight. Now, that's fine for people in the fitness industry or for people who that is their value, but my goal is to be there for women and to help optimize their health and wellness, not necessarily optimize their weight and what they believe that they should look like based on society. So I believe, you know, so these causation, or these studies with obesity, a lot of them are associative studies, and a lot of them show that when somebody is, quote, obese, they have higher inflammatory markers, and these markers drive all these diseases. And It's true that maybe there's some truth in that, but there's also the fact that, the societal viewpoint of stigmatizing these larger weight bodies, people getting suboptimal health care, because the first thing doctors will tell them, rather than actually to look into the cause of these markers, is to lose weight, which is an endeavor that is most likely going to fail. Only 1 to 3% of quote dieters are successful at maintaining their weight, regardless of whatever diet they use in the long term. So there's a lot of miracle diets that, they do quote unquote cause significant weight loss when people shift and do pretty extreme things to keep up with these diets that cut out major food groups, or basically make it so that someone has to devote most of their spare time sticking to this form of eating. And that might have benefits, like I said, for people that are athletes and fitness and they're trying to optimize their career. But for other people, it can lead to isolation, disordered eating patterns, and even more health issues than what these quote diets and weight loss are presumed to be remediating. Actually, I've found that the more we are obsessing on weight, the worse people's health is getting, and more chronic diseases are rising. And a lot of people are deciding that we need to go even more militant about food and exercise as a solution, and the more militant people are getting about it, I find the less people that can't devote their full life to this way of life, the more dejected they feel, the more emotional and eating disordered behaviors I'm seeing, the less happiness and pleasure they're deriving from food, social gatherings. They'll actually not be around family members that don't subscribe to these dietary principles, and it's very concerning to me. It scares me for our health profession and for society in general, because health is a beautiful thing, and healthy, quote, healthy foods are foods that are nurturing and nourishing and bring sustenance to our lives and make us feel good, are powerful, powerful medicine. They can be, but medicine, can be used as a tool, but it's also, it seems to be being used as a weapon lately, and it's too bad. So I'm going to end there, and I want to have you look at my article for more references, and just remind you, don't let me or any other expert tell you what your health values or morals should or shouldn't be. Decide for yourself how you want to feel in your own body and what your own goals are, and doing healthy things to optimize our body because we care about it and we want to be able to participate fully in life is something that I subscribe to. I think is important, but trying to fit into these societal ideals of what this quote perfect body is, to the extent that we're isolating people, shaming people, causing stigmatization, sub-optimizing health care, causing us to stigmatize a whole population. Weight is actually a societal acceptable form of prejudice. And it needs to stop. So this is what I believe that we should be thinking about. Food and exercise is great. I'm not bashing it. I'm not bashing fitness. I'm not bashing people that are doing stuff for athletics or aesthetics that's their hobby and that's their morality. I'm talking to them to just look at maybe other people have different viewpoints of what they want for their health, and I'm talking to other people who do have those different viewpoints. You don't have to subscribe to the societal ordeal to have a fulfilling and happy life, but you can still be healthy and enjoy your life without obsessing and taking away what your true passion is. Maybe your true passion isn't about having the perfect dietary plate, but maybe that there's a gift inside of you that if you weren't so hyper-focused on losing 10 pounds, you could be giving to the world. So I said I was done, but now I really am. Thanks for listening, and I will speak with you soon.